The stars stretched endlessly before the human fleet, a ribbon of silver lights gliding through the black void of space. Captain Aaron Cale stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, the lead ship, and looked out at the distant twinkles of galaxies that were both beautiful and indifferent. Earth had sent them into a dangerous part of the universe, and every person aboard knew the risk. Yet none of them wavered. Humanity had always been stubborn. It had always been brave. That was why they were here. The mission had not been easy to organize. Many of the older, more advanced civilizations had refused to help. They had studied Earth from afar and decided it was not worth the trouble. Humans are primitive, one ambassador had said. They cannot hold their own. Let them fail. But the leaders of the United Earth Alliance had refused to listen to that advice. Humanity had a stubborn heart, and when it chose to act, it did so with determination that could not be measured in weapons or shields. Aaron turned away from the viewports and scanned the control panels. Crew members worked quickly, checking navigation systems and energy outputs. Every ship was connected through a shared network that allowed them to act as one unit, and every member of the crew understood that the lives of thousands depended on their precision and focus. The hum of the engines was steady, almost comforting, as though the ships themselves knew the importance of their journey. In the briefing room, Aaron had spoken to the fleet. "We do not go to conquer. We do not go to fight for glory. We go to save a world that has been left alone when others refuse to help. Earth is under threat, and we are the only ones who can stand with them. Remember, the universe may doubt them, but we do not. Humanity has always faced impossible odds, and we have always endured. This is another test, and we will rise to meet it." Yet the warnings did not discourage the crew. Instead, they hardened their resolve. The humans aboard the fleet had trained for this. They had prepared for battles where hope seemed impossible. On the Dauntless, Lieutenant Mara Singh was coordinating the energy shields. Her hands moved quickly across the console, and her eyes flicked between readouts and tactical displays. "Captain, we're approaching a dense asteroid field. Sensors show signs of cloaked ships moving among the rocks, likely scouts from the Coalition," she reported. Aaron nodded. "Keep the shield steady but minimize energy drain. We need all the power we can for defense if they choose to engage." He paused, then added, "Mara, send a discreet signal to the fleet. We don't want to fight them now. We only need to observe." A single human ship could disappear into a cluster of asteroids, then strike with speed and accuracy that would surprise even the most advanced enemy. While the fleet moved cautiously, communication channels opened with Earth. The voice on the other end was young, nervous, but determined. Commander Liara Chen of Earth's Planetary Defense spoke directly to Captain Aaron. "We've never had help like this before. Everyone here is scared. The Coalition has been relentless. They've taken out colonies near the solar system, and we don't know if we can hold them back. Your people have survived floods, storms, and wars that would have destroyed others. This is no different. Stay strong. We are coming." Children had long been removed from these ships. This was not a place for them. But scientists and tacticians worked tirelessly, studying every piece of intelligence available about the alien coalition. They analyzed battle reports, ship designs, and energy signatures. Everything had to be perfect. One mistake could cost thousands of lives. In one of the observation lounges, Captain Aaron found a quiet moment to reflect. He thought about Earth, about the countless generations of humans who had built, learned, and survived. Humans had always faced impossible odds, surviving harsh planets, massive plagues, violent storms, and their own mistakes. And yet here they were, standing at the edge of a galactic war, ready to protect a world that others had abandoned. It was a heavy burden, but Aaron felt pride. Humans had always risen to challenges, and this was no different. Meanwhile, the alien coalition continued its approach toward the solar system. Their ships moved like dark shadows against the stars, swift and silent. They had underestimated humanity before, believing them weak and primitive. They did not yet know the ingenuity, resourcefulness, and courage that defined the human species. Every human on the fleet carried the weight of proving them wrong, not with words, but with action. As the fleet drew closer to Earth's orbit, reports from scouts became more urgent. "Captain, we're detecting multiple formations ahead. They appear to be warships, heavily armed. Estimated numbers exceed anything in human records," Mara Singh said, her voice steady but tense. Aaron studied the displays. "We expected that. Keep everyone ready. We will not attack unless necessary. Our goal is to defend, to buy time, and to protect Earth. Remember, our strength is in our unity and our creativity. Don't underestimate what humans can do." Despite the fear that naturally came with facing such a massive enemy, there was also determination, a quiet confidence that humans could endure anything. Even in the void of space, far from home, they carried with them the spirit of Earth, unyielding, brave, and relentless. Hours passed as they closed the distance to Earth. Communication with Earth's planetary defense became more frequent. Commander Chen reported on the ongoing attacks. Smaller cities under siege, orbital defenses under strain, civilian evacuations underway. Aaron realized that their presence alone would provide hope, a morale boost that could be as powerful as any weapon. Humans were not just fighters, they inspired others to fight alongside them. That was one of their greatest strengths. Finally, the fleet entered the outer reaches of the solar system. The sight of the blue and green planet brought a moment of quiet awe. Earth looked small and fragile against the vastness of space, yet it had endured countless challenges over millennia. And now it would face one more, but humanity was here. They had come when no one else would, bringing not just weapons and ships, but determination, intelligence, and courage. Aaron gave his orders with clarity. Maintain formation, scan for enemy positions, we will protect Earth and its people. Remember, we are not just here to fight, we are here to save lives. Let that guide every decision you make. The bonds between crew members, between ships, and between humans and Earth itself formed a network stronger than any energy shield. It was a network built on trust, courage, and the belief that even the smallest species could make a difference in a universe that often seemed indifferent. Aaron felt a surge of pride. They were here to protect not just a planet, but the idea of hope itself. Even in the darkest reaches of space, humans carried a light that no enemy could extinguish. They were about to face one of the greatest challenges in history, and they were ready. And so, as the stars stretched endlessly around them, the human fleet prepared for the first move in a battle that would test everything they were. Not just their skill, not just their courage, but their very humanity. They had come to Earth's aid when no one else would, and they would show the universe why humanity was worth protecting. The human fleet slowed as it entered the outer edge of the solar system. The blackness of space seemed heavier here, filled with the silent hum of alien ships in the distance. Earth hung in the center like a fragile jewel, its blue oceans and green continents glowing softly. Every human aboard the fleet could see the stakes. This was no longer a mission to prove themselves. It was a race against time to save millions of lives. Captain Aaron Cale stood at the front of the Dauntless, his eyes fixed on the distant formation of enemy ships. The alien coalition had discovered their presence, and the first signs of hostility were already clear. Small energy pulses fired from distant vessels, testing the humans' defenses, searching for weaknesses. The aliens were precise, disciplined, and merciless. "Captain," Lieutenant Myra Singh said, her voice calm but alert, "they're probing our shields. The pulses are light, but they're testing our limits. If they push harder, they might find a way through. Keep the shields at maximum, but don't drain the engines. We may need all our power for maneuvering. Prepare the fleet for evasive action if necessary. We are not here to fight blindly, we are here to protect." The human fleet had trained together for months, simulating countless scenarios. Every maneuver, every communication was rehearsed to precision. This unity gave them an advantage that the alien coalition did not expect. Humans were unpredictable in ways that no machine could fully calculate. The first direct engagement came without warning. A streak of light cut across the darkness, an alien fighter darting toward one of the smaller human support ships. The human vessel detected it instantly, activating countermeasures and accelerating out of the line of fire. The alien pilot pursued, confident in superior speed and weapons, but the human ship did not flee. Instead, it twisted and turned in ways that seemed impossible, using the gravity of a nearby asteroid as cover. The alien fighter overshot, then narrowly avoided colliding with debris. The humans had used the environment to their advantage, a move that seemed reckless but was executed with precision. Captain Aaron watched the maneuver on his main display. A small smile crossed his face. "This is why they underestimated us," he said. "We do not fight like they expect, we adapt." They were not just testing, they were preparing for a full assault. Meanwhile, Earth's orbital defenses activated, sending up satellite drones and automated defense platforms. The human fleet integrated with these systems seamlessly, forming a defensive perimeter that stretched across millions of kilometers. Communication channels buzzed constantly, exchanging information about enemy positions, shield status, and potential weak points. Commander Liara Chen spoke directly to Captain Aaron. We can hold them for now, but they're coordinating faster than expected. Their numbers are overwhelming, and our resources are limited. We may not last long without your full support. They fired energy pulses designed to disable shields, aiming not to destroy but to weaken. One of the human frigates, the Resolute, took a direct hit. The shields flickered, but the crew remained steady. They worked in unison to redistribute power, adjust energy flows, and launch countermeasures. Within minutes, the Resolute's shield stabilized, and the alien fighter that attacked it was forced to retreat. "This is going to be a long fight," Mara Singh said, watching the tactical display. "They are relentless. Every small victory matters." Within minutes, they suggested a new approach. Instead of trying to repel every attack head-on, the fleet would lead the alien ships into the asteroid fields that surrounded the outer planets. There, their speed and weapons would be less effective, and the humans could strike with precision. Captain Aaron approved the plan. "It is risky, but it will force them into our terms. Prepare the fleet for maneuvers. Move slowly and deliberately. The moment we act, everyone must follow exactly." People saw human ships moving with confidence, holding the line, and they began to believe that survival was possible. Civilians volunteered to assist where they could, building temporary shelters, helping with communication, and keeping morale high. The humans' arrival had done more than provide firepower, it had inspired courage. Hours passed as the fleet maneuvered toward the asteroid fields. The aliens, confident in their numbers, followed. Captain Aaron watched as the first alien ships entered the rocky formations. Predictably, their formations became disorganized. Collisions were narrowly avoided, and energy pulses were less effective. The humans moved through the same area with ease, using their knowledge of the terrain to gain the upper hand. The first decisive moment came when a group of human strike fighters launched a surprise counterattack. Using the asteroid cover, they approached from unexpected angles, striking alien ships' weak points. Several were disabled instantly, forced to retreat, while others were trapped among the rocks, unable to maneuver effectively. The humans had turned the tide of this skirmish without taking heavy losses. Captain Aaron felt a surge of pride. This was exactly what he had hoped for. The humans were not just defending, they were demonstrating intelligence, courage, and creativity. These qualities could not be matched by sheer numbers or technology alone. Even the alien coalition, watching through their sensors, began to realize that humans were different. As night fell over parts of Earth, the battle continued in space. The alien coalition pressed harder, trying to break through the human lines, but each time they were forced back, adapting to tactics that were unexpected and clever. Human ingenuity shone in every maneuver. Ships using asteroid shadows for stealth, energy pulses timed to confuse the enemy, and rapid communication that allowed instant coordination across vast distances. On Earth, news broadcasts showed images of human ships defending the planet. Citizens cheered, some crying with relief. Children watched from windows, inspired by the courage of strangers who had come from the stars to protect them. Even the hardened soldiers of Earth's defense forces felt renewed strength, fighting alongside the humans. The combined efforts of humanity were a force that even the alien coalition had not anticipated. By the second day of battle, the humans had established a pattern. They did not attack recklessly. They conserved energy, protected civilians, and responded to threats with precision. The alien ships, frustrated by their inability to overwhelm the humans, began to hesitate. Every miscalculation on their part was amplified in the tight asteroid fields, and humans took advantage of every opportunity. Captain Aaron knew the battle was far from over. The alien coalition was too large to be defeated with skirmishes alone. But this first encounter had shown that humans were not to be underestimated. Their presence had bought time, protected lives, and sent a clear message. Earth was not alone, and humans could not be ignored. Late into the second day, the fleet regrouped near the outer edge of the asteroid field. Crew members worked tirelessly, checking systems, repairing minor damage, and preparing for the next wave. Despite fatigue, morale was high. Humans had faced impossible odds before, and every small victory reminded them of their resilience. Aaron looked out at Earth once more. The planet seemed peaceful from this distance, but he knew the real danger was still near. The alien coalition would return, stronger and more coordinated. Yet he also knew something else. Humans were ready. They had prepared, they had adapted, and they had shown courage in the face of fear. The first battle was a success, but it was only the beginning. In the quiet moments, Aaron reflected on what this mission truly meant. It was not just a fight to defend a planet, it was a testament to humanity itself. Their ingenuity, bravery, and willingness to act when others would not were what set them apart. Even in the darkest reaches of space, humans carried hope. That hope was contagious. It inspired allies, frightened enemies, and reminded everyone that courage could take many forms. As the stars shimmered around the fleet, Captain Aaron made one final announcement to his crew. Today, we have protected Earth. Tomorrow, we will do it again. And every day after that, we will show the universe what it means to be human. Remember why we are here. Remember who we are. We are not just survivors. We are protectors, innovators, and fighters. We are humans, and we will not be defeated. The battle for Earth had begun, and humanity was ready. The solar system had grown tense. From the dark reaches of space to the glowing cities of Earth, every human felt the weight of what was unfolding. Captain Aaron Cale stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, his eyes tracing the horizon of the planet below. Earth looked peaceful from this distance, a fragile sphere of life spinning slowly, but the reality was far different. Alien warships hovered in orbit, their dark shapes a silent threat that could strike at any moment. The first skirmishes had been a test, and now the real battle was beginning. Aaron turned to his tactical team. "We've seen what they can do," he said. "They are strong, fast, and precise. But we've also seen what humans can do. Today, we coordinate with Earth's defenses. Today, we show the coalition that this planet will not fall. They'll provide additional firepower, and we can guide them to cover weak spots. They're striking at industrial centers, power grids, and civilian hubs. We cannot last much longer without your full support. We will not fail now." Unlike the alien coalition, they did not rely solely on numbers or raw strength. They relied on intelligence, courage, and quick thinking, qualities that machines could not fully anticipate. The first major wave of the alien coalition struck at the industrial zones orbiting the planet. Massive energy blasts tore through the outskirts, and Earth's orbital defense platforms responded immediately. Human strike fighters led the way, weaving between energy blasts, drawing fire, and targeting the alien ship's weak points. Every movement was calculated, yet instinctive. The aliens expected humans to flee or scatter. Instead, they pressed forward, holding the line, protecting both their ships and the civilians below. Aaron watched as a human frigate intercepted a massive alien bomber. The bomber released a volley of missiles aimed at a power station on Earth. The frigate dodged and countered, disabling the bomber's engines in a dazzling maneuver that sent it tumbling away from the planet. Below, on Earth, citizens glimpsed the streak of light through orbital cameras and cheered. Humanity's resilience was visible even from millions of kilometers away. "Captain, another wave is approaching from the opposite side," Mara Singh reported. "They're coordinating attacks from multiple directions. If we split our forces, we risk leaving gaps in our defenses. Smaller groups will move to intercept while the main fleet holds the central line. Focus on precision, not volume. We fight smart, not recklessly." The human fleet took advantage of every opening, disabling ships, forcing retreats, and minimizing damage to Earth below. Even when some ships took hits, the crews worked quickly to repair and redistribute energy. Every human vessel that remained in the fight was a testament to determination and teamwork. On Earth, cities continued evacuation efforts. Civilians worked together, following instructions with calm efficiency. Schools, hospitals, and public buildings served as temporary shelters, and volunteers ensured food, water, and medical supplies reached those in need. The humans in space and on Earth were united by a common goal: survival and protection. This unity was something the alien coalition had never seen before. Their calculations had underestimated the human spirit. The second wave of the alien assault was more aggressive. Energy blasts rained down on orbital platforms, and alien ships attempted to penetrate the protective line. But humans were ready. Strike fighters darted between blasts, using speed and agility to intercept attackers. Shielded frigates absorbed damage and held formation. The larger human vessels fired carefully targeted energy pulses, disabling enemy engines and weapons systems without causing unnecessary destruction. Every action was measured, every maneuver intentional. Amid the chaos, a human engineer, Lieutenant Kira Valen, discovered an opening. By analyzing the enemy's energy pulse patterns, she identified a small but critical flaw in the alien coordination. She relayed the information to Aaron. "Captain, If we target this specific channel, we can disrupt their communication temporarily. It may give us a chance to push them back without major losses. We disrupt, not destroy indiscriminately. Commander Liara Chen spoke over the channel, her relief evident. Captain, you've given us breathing room. The civilians are safe and our defenses are holding. I cannot thank you enough. We will protect it, as humans have always protected each other. Every small act of care kept morale high, proving that courage was not just in combat, it was in maintaining focus, supporting one another, and refusing to give up. By the third day, the alien coalition had realized that brute force would not win the battle. Their attacks became less coordinated, more cautious. Humans had turned the fight into a test of patience, strategy, and endurance. Each time the aliens struck, the humans responded with intelligence and courage. They had not just defended Earth, they had inspired it. On the ground, the people of Earth felt a sense of unity they had never experienced. Citizens worked together across borders, races, and cultures. Volunteers aided evacuations, provided supplies, and comforted the frightened. Soldiers fought with renewed determination, knowing that the humans from space had risked everything to protect them. Even children, watching from safe locations, learned the power of courage, teamwork, and hope. Captain Aaron took a rare moment to speak to his crew. Look at what we are doing. Every ship, every fighter, every person on Earth and in this fleet is making a difference. We may be small compared to our enemy, but our unity makes us strong. Remember this. Remember why we fight. Today, humanity shows its true strength. They don't know we fight with heart, intelligence, and resolve. The aliens attempted to regroup and plan another offensive, but human tactics forced them to react rather than act freely. Each maneuver was a lesson in strategy, showing that determination and ingenuity could match, or even surpass, raw power. On the fleet's command deck, Aaron watched the progress with careful satisfaction. "We have not won the battle yet," he said quietly. "But we have turned it into our terms. Every human aboard these ships and every person on Earth has contributed. That is what makes the difference. Courage and intelligence will outlast brute force every time." The humans in space had proven their ability to adapt, to protect, and to inspire. The aliens had underestimated them, and now they were learning a hard lesson. Humans were more than their technology. They were clever, resourceful, and united in ways no other species had experienced. The day ended with a temporary calm. Alien forces pulled back slightly, reassessing their strategy. Humans took the time to repair, recharge, and prepare for the next assault. Captain Aaron gathered his senior officers. "Today, we protected Earth. Tomorrow, we will continue. Every act of courage matters. Every decision can save lives. We are humans, and this is what we do. We endure, we protect, and we adapt. Never forget that." Across the fleet, every ship hummed with quiet energy, ready for the challenges ahead. Humanity had arrived to defend Earth when no one else would, and they were showing the universe what it meant to be human. Their courage, intelligence, and unity were unshakable. Even the alien coalition from afar began to understand that this fight would not be easy. Humans were not predictable. Humans were not weak. They had heart and they had skill, and above all, they had each other. As the stars shimmered over the human fleet, Captain Aaron gazed at Earth one last time before the temporary calm ended. The planet was safe for now, its people alive and hopeful, but the fight was far from over. Yet Aaron knew something no alien could understand. Humanity would rise again, as it always had, and it would fight not just for survival, but for honor, courage, and the protection of those who could not defend themselves. The battle for Earth continued, and humanity was ready. The days of battle had taken a toll on both the human fleet and Earth's defenses. Space was filled with the echo of distant energy blasts, the hum of shields, and the occasional spark of damaged systems. Captain Aaron Cale stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, his eyes scanning the vast blackness that stretched beyond the fleet. The alien coalition had not given up. They had only become more cautious, more calculated, and more dangerous. "Captain," Lieutenant Mara Singh said, her tone steady but tense, "we've detected a massive fleet approaching from the outer edge. This is larger than anything we've seen so far. They're coordinating and their ships are heavily armed. If they reach Earth's orbit, the damage could be catastrophic. Prepare the fleet for full engagement. Alert all Earth defenses. This is the moment where we test everything we've trained for." Earth's orbital platforms were on high alert, their automated systems firing in synchronization with human commands. Civilians below had been evacuated or moved to secure shelters, but the fear was palpable. Yet within that fear there was also hope. Humanity had arrived, and the defenders of Earth were not alone. As the alien fleet advanced, their numbers seemed almost endless. Massive warships moved in formation, sending smaller fighters ahead to scout and probe defenses. Each ship was a carefully engineered machine of destruction, and every pulse of energy aimed to test human shields and tactical responses. But the humans were ready. They had adapted, observed, and learned from every previous engagement. Aaron issued orders with calm authority. Hold formation. Focus on defense first, precision second. Protect civilians and key infrastructure. Every life matters, every decision counts. Human strike fighters darted in, intercepting smaller enemy ships and disrupting their formations. Larger frigates absorbed hits while targeting critical points on the alien vessels. Every maneuver was calculated, every move deliberate. The humans fought not with reckless aggression but with intelligence, protecting both themselves and the planet below. Despite the careful planning, the alien fleet was relentless. One of their massive cruisers unleashed a torrent of energy pulses that threatened to overwhelm a human frigate. Crew members worked frantically, rerouting power to shields and engines, while strike fighters drew the enemy's fire. Mara Singh coordinated the defense like a conductor leading an orchestra, adjusting shields and energy flows with precise timing. The frigate held, but the strain was evident. "Captain," Mara Singh reported, "we can maintain this, but prolonged exposure to their energy bursts could wear down our systems. We need to force them to disperse, or we risk losing a ship. Use the asteroid belt near the outer planets as cover. Draw them in, disrupt their formations, and attack from unexpected angles. We've done it before, we can do it again." Ships had to dodge massive rocks, navigate through gravity wells, and coordinate precise strikes, all while maintaining defense for Earth below. The alien ships struggled to maintain formation, colliding or being forced to retreat in confusion. During this critical moment, a human engineer aboard the Dauntless, Lieutenant Kira Valen, discovered a potential advantage. "Captain, if we target their energy channels simultaneously from multiple directions, we can temporarily disable their communication and coordination. It will give us a chance to counterattack without major losses." Human ships fired synchronized energy pulses at critical points in the alien fleet, sending waves of disruption through their formation. Alien vessels collided, fired at empty space, or were forced to retreat. Humans pressed forward, protecting the planet while minimizing unnecessary damage. It was a display of intelligence, skill, and courage, a reminder that humans were not defined solely by technology, but by ingenuity and determination. On Earth, the citizens watched the battle unfold through communications networks. Broadcasts showed the human fleet defending the planet, moving with precision, holding the line, and protecting the innocent. Hope blossomed among the population. Volunteers continued to assist evacuation efforts, provide supplies, and maintain calm. Soldiers on the ground fought with renewed energy, inspired by the humans who had come from the stars to protect them. Humanity's courage was visible in every act of strategy, compassion, and unity. Despite the success of the counterattack, the alien coalition was formidable. A massive cruiser, far larger than any the humans had encountered, advanced toward Earth's orbital platforms. Its energy pulses were far stronger, capable of breaching multiple shields at once. The humans responded with coordinated fire, but the cruiser pressed forward relentlessly. Damage reports came quickly, and a sense of urgency spread across the fleet. Aaron's voice cut through the tension. "All ships focus fire on the cruiser's weak points. Use coordinated strikes, protect civilians, keep shields active, and support each other. This is the moment where we prove the strength of humanity." Frigates focused concentrated fire on critical systems, disabling engines and weapons without destroying the ship entirely. The humans were careful, precise, and united. Every crew member understood their role. Even with careful tactics, the battle demanded sacrifice. Some smaller ships took heavy damage, their crews working tirelessly to maintain shields and counterattacks. Lives were at risk, and the humans knew that losses were inevitable in a battle of this scale. Yet they did not falter. Courage and unity carried them forward, every action aimed at protecting Earth and its people. Amid the chaos, Captain Aaron observed something remarkable. Humans were not just fighting, they were inspiring. Civilians on Earth volunteered more actively. Scientists developed emergency systems faster than before. Soldiers coordinated with engineers to strengthen defenses. Every human, whether on the fleet or on the planet, contributed to the collective effort. This unity amplified their effectiveness, turning what seemed like impossible odds into achievable defense. Hours passed as the battle raged. The alien cruiser faltered, disabled in key systems, and was forced to retreat. The larger fleet, seeing their strongest ship incapacitated, began to pull back in disarray. Humans maintained pressure, ensuring that the aliens could not regroup quickly. Earth's orbital platforms and human ships combined their efforts, holding the line and protecting the planet. By the end of the fourth day, the fleet and Earth's defenses had sustained damage, but the humans had proven their resilience. Every system had been tested, every crew member had acted with courage, and every person on Earth had contributed to the survival of their home. Captain Aaron looked out at the planet, breathing a quiet sigh of relief. The immediate threat had been contained, but he knew the alien coalition would return. The battle was not over. In the quiet that followed, the human fleet repaired, replenished supplies, and prepared for the next wave. Crew members spoke quietly, sharing stories of bravery, clever maneuvers, and acts of heroism. Even in the face of exhaustion and danger, the spirit of humanity shone brightly. Aaron addressed the fleet one final time before night fell across Earth. Today, we faced overwhelming odds and held the line. We have not won the war, but we have proven something stronger than victory. We have proven that humans endure. We protect those who cannot defend themselves. We think, we adapt, and we rise when others fall. Remember this. Remember why we fight. Humanity is worth protecting, and today we showed the universe why. Humans had arrived when no one else would, and they had changed the course of the battle. They had defended Earth with intelligence, precision, and selflessness. The alien coalition had underestimated them, and they had paid the price. On Earth, citizens celebrated cautiously. Damage was extensive, but lives were saved. Evacuations had succeeded. Communities had come together. For the first time in generations, humans witnessed what could be achieved when courage, unity, and intelligence guided action. Captain Aaron knew that the true challenge lay ahead. The alien coalition was vast and persistent. There would be future attacks, and humans would have to endure more trials. But the victory of these days, the sacrifices, the clever strategies, the resilience, was a reminder of what humanity could achieve. They had shown that even in the darkest times, they could protect, adapt, and inspire. As the stars shimmered over the human fleet, Aaron reflected quietly. The fleet had lost ships, systems had been damaged, but humanity had held strong. They had faced overwhelming odds, protected millions of lives, and demonstrated the qualities that no alien could ignore: intelligence, courage, selflessness, and unity. The humans aboard the fleet prepared for what was to come. Earth remained standing, civilians alive and hopeful, and humanity's spirit stronger than ever. The alien coalition would return, but humans were ready. They had faced the greatest challenges so far, and they would continue to rise as they always had. The battle had cost much, but it had proven something priceless. Humanity's strength was not just in ships or weapons, but in courage, unity, and the will to protect life when others would abandon it. And in that moment, Captain Aaron knew that no matter what came next, humans would endure, inspire, and fight with honor. The alien coalition had retreated, broken and disoriented, their greatest ships disabled or forced to fall back into the depths of space. For the first time in days, the human fleet allowed itself a moment of quiet. The stars shone as if in celebration, and Earth, though battered, remained intact. Citizens emerged from shelters, and across the planet, communities began to rebuild, inspired by the courage and sacrifice of the humans who had come from the stars to defend them. Captain Aaron Cale stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, gazing at the planet below. It had been a grueling battle, one that had tested every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage in the fleet. Ships had been damaged, crews had worked beyond their limits, and yet humanity had prevailed. It was not just a victory of weapons and shields, it was a victory of spirit. Humans had fought not for glory, but for the protection of life. Lieutenant Myra Singh approached, her expression calm but reflective. "Captain, we held them off. Earth is safe, at least for now. They will regroup, but this sends a clear message. Humans will not back down. That is what defines us." This courage and intelligence resonated far beyond the solar system, earning respect from civilizations that had once considered humanity insignificant. On Earth, Commander Liara Chen coordinated the cleanup and recovery efforts. The orbital platforms had taken damage, and some civilian systems had been disrupted, but thanks to the human fleet, millions of lives had been saved. People celebrated cautiously, knowing that the threat could return, yet grateful for the defenders who had risked everything for them. Children watched the sky, imagining the brave humans in their ships, and ordinary citizens found courage in acts of compassion and resilience. In the days following the battle, ambassadors from allied civilizations arrived. Ships of unfamiliar designs, sleek and elegant, entered Earth's orbit. Unlike the alien coalition, these visitors came with respect, curiosity, and gratitude. They had been watching humanity, observing the choices made during the battle, and now they wished to acknowledge what they had witnessed. Captain Aaron met the delegation personally. They were not large in number, but their presence carried weight. One ambassador, whose vessel seemed to shimmer with living light, spoke with calm authority. "Humans," the ambassador said, "your actions have not gone unnoticed. You risked your lives when others would not. You fought with courage, intelligence, and restraint. You have earned our respect, and more importantly, the trust of the galaxy. And that is why we offer you gifts, not of wealth or weapons, but of knowledge, technology, and alliances. You have proven that humanity is worth protecting, and we wish to ensure your continued survival and growth among the stars." They had faced impossible odds, endured danger and fatigue, and now they were being recognized for more than just their skill in battle. They were being acknowledged for the courage and intelligence that defined them as a species. It was a reward far greater than any material prize, acknowledgement of humanity's value in a galaxy that often underestimated them. Captain Aaron reflected on the journey. From the moment the fleet left Earth's orbit to the grueling days of battle, every human had shown adaptability, unity, and moral courage. Engineers had repaired ships under fire. Pilots had intercepted attacks with precision. Soldiers had coordinated with civilians to protect lives. Each act, small or large, had contributed to a victory that went beyond mere survival. Humans had changed the narrative of what it meant to be capable in the universe. On Earth, citizens celebrated not with reckless abandon, but with unity. Communities rebuilt together, shared resources, and honored those who had sacrificed to protect the planet. Schools taught lessons about courage, intelligence, and teamwork. Children listened in awe to the stories of the humans who had come from the stars to defend their world, learning that bravery was not about strength alone, but about acting when it was necessary to protect others. As days turned into weeks, the human fleet coordinated with allied civilizations to strengthen Earth's defenses. Knowledge of alien technology was shared, new systems were installed, and diplomatic ties formed. The galaxy had noticed humanity, and it was now a recognized force, respected not for aggression, but for courage, wisdom, and the moral choice to act when no one else would. Captain Aaron addressed his crew one final time before the fleet returned to their stations. "We have done more than protect Earth. We have shown what humans are capable of when we act together with courage and integrity. We have inspired hope, earned respect, and proven that even a single species, when united, can influence the course of the galaxy. Remember this always. Humanity has a light that cannot be extinguished, and we will carry it forward." The immediate threat of the alien coalition had been repelled, and civilians returned to their lives with renewed hope. Humanity had endured immense challenges, but they had proven themselves capable of facing the unknown, of protecting life, and of inspiring allies across the stars. The planet was safe, its people alive, and its defenders celebrated not for conquest, but for courage and integrity. Across the galaxy, whispers spread of the humans who had risked everything when others would not. Their story became a symbol of hope and resilience, a demonstration that even in the darkest times, courage and intelligence could prevail. Humans were no longer seen as primitive, weak, or insignificant. They were a species that could inspire, protect, and endure. Captain Aaron stood once more on the bridge of the Dauntless, watching Earth rotate slowly beneath the sun's light. The scars of battle were visible, but so was the beauty of a world that had been defended by courage and unity. The fleet's crew moved quietly, repairing systems, exchanging stories, and reflecting on what they had accomplished. They had faced fear, danger, and impossible odds, yet they had emerged victorious, not through aggression, but through intelligence, resilience, and moral strength. As the stars stretched endlessly beyond the fleet, Captain Aaron spoke softly to himself. "We came when no one else would. We protected, we endured, and we inspired. The universe has seen what humans are capable of, and now the galaxy will never forget." Scientists and engineers worked alongside diplomats and soldiers, building a stronger, more prepared civilization. Every human felt the impact of the fleet's actions, knowing that their survival had depended on courage, unity, and the willingness to act when no one else would. Ambassadors from allied civilizations continued to offer support, sharing knowledge, technology, and strategic insight. They helped establish new defenses, strengthen communications, and expand humanity's presence in space. Humans were recognized not just as survivors, but as a species worthy of trust and cooperation. Captain Aaron walked the corridors of the Dauntless, watching his crew with pride. Every face reflected the experience of the battle. The exhaustion, yes, but also the strength and pride of knowing they had acted with integrity and courage. They had done more than fight. They had protected life, inspired hope, and set an example that would echo across the stars. In quiet moments, Aaron thought of the countless humans who had lived and died on Earth before the fleet ever left. Their ancestors had faced natural disasters, wars, and countless hardships. That same courage had carried forward into the present, into the fleet, and into the battle that had just concluded. Humanity had endured once again, proving that intelligence, courage, and unity were the most powerful forces in the universe. Finally, the fleet prepared to return to their stations. Systems were repaired, energy reserves restored, and new defensive plans put in place. Earth was safe, at least for now, and humanity had gained allies, recognition, and a new sense of confidence. They had fought when others would not, and in doing so they had shaped the galaxy's view of their species forever. Captain Aaron took one last look at Earth, its blue oceans shining under the sun. "We came when no one else would," he said quietly. "And we showed the universe that humans are worth protecting. We protected, we endured, and we inspired. That is the true reward." Life continued, strengthened by the courage and intelligence of those who had risked everything to defend it. Humanity had acted with honor, wisdom, and resilience. They had faced the impossible, and they had triumphed, not through dominance, but through the greatest qualities a species could possess: courage, unity, and the will to protect life. And across the stars, civilizations that had doubted humanity began to look upon them with respect, awe, and hope. Humans had come to Earth's aid when no one else would, and in doing so, they had earned a place among the galaxy's most respected species. The reward was not just recognition or technology. It was the lasting proof that humanity, united and courageous, could rise above any challenge, inspire others, and shape the future of the universe. The stars stretched endlessly, but Earth remained safe, alive, and filled with hope. And humanity, ever resilient, had proven that their spirit was a force the universe could not ignore.